was a story that I told, so I think you'll have to indulge my maybe 2-minute story. But it was a story about Mr. Hogg. And Mr. Hogg was on a farm, and one particular encounter, Mr. and Mrs. Farmer had gotten sick. Mr. Farmer was sick and couldn't do anything, and Mrs. Farmer just got tired because she was trying to take care of the barn and the farm and the house, and Mr. Farmer and she got tired. And so together they laid on their bed, sick and tired. And the animals who had been fed on a clock, right? Clockwork, day in, day out, every meal, hadn't been fed in 3 days. So the animals gathered together in the red barn, and they sent one of the pigeons up to the window to look in the window and say, "Hey, check on Mr. and Mrs. Farmer." And the bird flies up, gets on the perch, looks in, sees their feet, them not moving, flies back down and says, "Listen, they're in bed, they're not moving, they must be sick and tired." And the animals come up with this idea. They say to themselves, "Well, they're always taking things from us. And they eat it. I think it's called breakfast. So how about you chickens give us some eggs, right? How about you horses go, bite some apples and oranges off the trees and bring them to us. We'll put it in a basket. Milk, cows, give us some milk." And they like this idea. So together, they gather these items and they go towards the farmhouse, the house. And as they're walking to the farmhouse, they pass by Mr. Hogg's pen. He's in the mud, twisting and turning, making his noise, right? "Mr. Hogg, Mr. Hogg, Mr. Hogg, we need you to help us out. Mr. and Mrs. Farmer aren't doing well. We need to give them breakfast, right? So everyone's giving their little part. We need you to give us your little part too. We need you to give us bacon." Mr. Hogg turns and tries to ignore him. "No, Mr. Hogg, come on, stop being lazy. Give us some bacon." Mr. Hogg turns back to them and says, "Listen, for you to give some eggs and milk is nice. It's an offering. But for me to give bacon is a sacrifice, because it means I must die." And the question that I proposed to a room full of very wealthy people at one point was, are you simply giving an offering? Are you digging deeper and giving that sacrifice? Doesn't mean we have to die physically, but maybe that fear that we hold on to, maybe the explanations and the reasons we use to justify why we didn't go on the front lines of Charlotte, maybe those reasons have to be sacrificed. Or maybe we need to make the sacrifice to go out and really help others.